In this video, we are talking about how to do brainstorming and how my 3 steps of brainstorming has really helped me coming up with original and exciting stories, and how it might do the same for you. If you're new to the channel, I'm a screenwriter student who makes videos on everything that has with storytelling to do. This video is for brainstorming a story either for a book or a film. But these 3 steps can apply for a whole range of other areas where you need to come up with an idea or a concept. So the brainstorming process, this is just how I do it, but if I'm gonna put words on it, I would divide it up into 3 parts, and I would call the first one brain dump, second brainstorming, and the third one marinating. Step 1 of brainstorming for me is to dump all the stuff you have on your mind onto the page. You could call this brain dump. It's not really the brainstorming part, it's just a prerequisite for the brainstorming. But it's really important to not think too hard about the idea. You just want to put everything you have in your brain down on the page. After the brain dump, you can go over to kind of the brainstorming, where you start to maybe read over what you have written and see if anything makes sense. Is any of these ideas good? And often in your head they might seem good, and it's not until you write them down and then read them you can tell how bad they are, or how simple or one-dimensional. But this is the nice part about brainstorming. Once you have gotten this information on the page, you instantly recognize that it's not a good idea. But you could maybe tweak it a bit. And you do that, you start brain dumping again to fix the bad idea. And once you probably have half a page more of ideas, you read over again. And this time it might be better, but it might still be crap. But you rinse and repeat this brain dump / brainstorming until you have ideas you don't cringe at reading. And you can use brainstorming in all kinds of way. You can use brainstorming, generate story ideas, character arcs, conflict, a look of a character. You can use it on all aspects of the story. So when I personally brainstorm, I use just a Word document. I just call it sloppy brainstorming, so I don't have any pressure that anything I write here is supposed to be good. And I use this document through the whole project, and I rarely read it. I just write, just get all my ideas out, and I kind of refine the ideas as I go. And usually I just read the last couple of paragraphs I've written, and this helps me to move along in my story. This is where you brainstorm and you brain dump and brainstorm until you're just empty. You've written all that you can think about of your character or story or whatever you're trying to brainstorm. You don't have anything else to add, and you just save the document. After that, you're finished with stage 2. Okay, so the third part, and probably the most important, which I called marinating. You let it marinate. You just don't think about it, and you let it stay there for a couple of days, weeks, even months. And when you come back to it, just open the document again. You probably don't even need to read what you wrote last time. Maybe just skim it. And then the nice thing about our brains is that the subconsciousness have been working all this time. All these questions you probably had, plot holes, you now probably have an answer for that. Probably more original ideas will have been kind of concocted in the background. And this is just why I call it marinating, because I often say I have to marinate it, and I come back and it's a lot more tasty. And then I just continue to write. I just kind of start on the brain dump part again, and then you just rinse and repeat until you are done brainstorming, until you have come to a point where it's time to write an outline or just write the script. This is just my way of brainstorming. I think it works really nice, and often my document will end up being half or even almost as long as the screenplay or the story I'm writing itself. There's a lot of thoughts or brain dumping on that document, which then becomes a much cleaner first draft. Yeah, I would really like to know how you guys brainstorm. Share the tips, share your process down in the comments. But remember, with all writing advice, just take what works for you and ignore the rest. These are just my thoughts and what works for me. Maybe you don't even need to brainstorm. Stephen King said, "A writer's notebook is the best way in the world to immortalize bad ideas."